This is Justin AMZN on Wednesday, August 11th, 2021. We had a really nice open high wave candle and immediately broke down. So in the first 10 minutes, you knew, okay, it should go lower, right? Even though it was a gap up. It could bounce, sure, it could bounce. And if it bounces, it's got to hold the 21 and go higher. Definitely didn't do that. Instead of getting inside candles like we got yesterday, we got a candle that was breaking down. So put in a new low from there. Then this candle took out the 21. And then this acted, if I could draw straight, that is probably the thing I say the most on this channel. There we go. And there, this is a really nice stair step, 25 minutes sideways, holding the 21 and didn't get a close. I guess technically that's like right on the 21. And then it breaks down. So obviously this candle is breaking down below. It's taking out at least the last candle of yesterday, and I can't look back to the left a little bit more to see what was going on right in here, but I think we were a little lower yesterday. So puts in another stair step. Okay, technically this is like an inside candle, and then this one is inside of the first one, not the second one, it's bigger. And then this one is kind of looking inside, but this is like a shaved top and a shaved bottom. And all of that is another stair step here. And then it breaks down again. And then this one is holding the 20 or holding the 5 exponential. We talked about this yesterday. This kind of a, did we talk about it yesterday? Oh no, I was talking with someone else about this kind of compression. I was talking with them yesterday. And then we just continued to break down. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bear candles in a row. At this point, it's been holding the 21. It's pushing below the 21. It's got to rest, right? You got to give it some space. I like seeing when it's sold off like this. I like seeing it go up a little bit and push back through the 5. I would have expected it to push back up into the 21 here, and then it can roll back down. The fact that it didn't, it rolled over first. It's like, okay, here we go. Comes right back into the same. If I could draw that right, comes back into the same support, bounces then into the 21, holds the 21, holds the 21, holds the 21. This one's like an evening star reversal shape, 3 candles there and reversing, doesn't touch the 21, and then just rolls over again. This time taking out this prior low. Draw straight. There we go, straight enough. So here's a new low and a little bit of exhaustion. I mean, this really small candle right here and higher volume than this one breaking down. It's kind of the exhaustion volume, I guess, if you could put these two together with their volumes, you know, this volume profile here, a little more volume there. If you're bearish and you're getting in here, you already have missed this whole move on the day. Maybe wait for it to retrace a little bit more, you know, even if you had gotten in bearish off of the 21, which had been holding, no, can't count that as one, that's 1, 2, third time, fourth time, 4 times it held the 21. And then technically here's like a 5th time it held the 21. And then it started to poke back through. And at this point, it's like, okay, it's been going super sideways. Are we going to get a rally out of this? No, it just chops for 30 something more minutes, 40 minutes, and then starts to go up. So overall, the day was bearish. Great day to be in bearish. I was not in at all today. I was having internet issues all day. And that's one of the things if I'm having internet issues, I'll keep an eye on the market if I can get internet working. But I don't want to get into a trade and have an issue with the broker. I don't want to, be changing, targets or stops and have an issue with the broker. It's just easier and it's more peaceful in my mind to not be in a trade. So that's what's going on the 5-minute. If we take a look at now the 33.50 call expiring this week, you can see it just kept going lower. Looked like it was in the overbought area, or the overbought area. And no, wait, I'm always mixing this up. Oversold. This is oversold. This is overbought. I don't know why I'm always mixing that up. Oversold area looks like, oh, it should be bought back up. Well, no, it's actually kind of more so in a downtrend. It's breaking down. We look back at the daily, it's actually breaking down. So today we did not get another little high wave candle, just like this one and then this one after it, or 2 days after it. we had this high wave candle here, broke down yesterday, continued breaking down today, and I think we might break down a little bit more into the low 3200s if we continue to push down. I think we could keep going there. I don't see that there's much support in here. I mean, obviously, the low of this candle, the open and the low, were very, very close. That's 32.82. Today we got down to 32.77, 79. So we were below that price. So could we bounce off of this area? Sure, we totally could. We could just run right out of here. This the volume is increasing here. I think we could push down a little bit more, especially down to this purple line. That's my next target. So let's say like 32.25 if it happens tomorrow. It's going to be that kind of range. It does not by any means have to stop on this line. This line is arbitrary. I could delete this and be like, oh, look, it's just rolling over, you know? So, you know, even though I've got lines in here, don't use that as a good place to bounce. You know, if you got to figure out where you see it going, where you're going to take profits, you know, how you're going to trade it. But anyway, back to the call. Looked like it was oversold a lot. You got a little bit of like a double bottom shape here, a little bit of a retest. Well, no, it doesn't even dip back down. Kind of dip back down here. Even if you had bought anywhere in here, it really didn't do much. You could have just kind of scalped something. Like if you were buying over here. So let's say you bought it, somehow you bought the low at 4. You could have been in that for a while. And it finally took out the $3 price, which $100 risk, you know, took out $3 price way over here. You could have easily been out for anything more than 4. Really, like, well, not anything over 4. You could have been out for more than $4. Anywhere in here, 405, 410, something like that. Not much, but something. And then if we go and look at the puts, this there's some real similarities here to what was going on. So this is a 3,300 put. It's a kind of expensive. That's the only issue. You don't get as strong of a high wave candle to open. As it, you know, as the put rallies here, it's putting in some lows, but all these candles are really large. Like this is spending $1,200 on a contract, and it's really hard to get $100 risk with that. Absolutely. So you can go a little further out. Now the strikes aren't great. We can look at 3250 instead, and just to get an idea, and you can look at strikes in between. But this, we had a nice range on this opening candle. So still more than $1, but from there it had the inside candle started to move up. This is, you know, as the 5 minutes breaking down, it breaks back down here, back into where it had broken out from, puts in that low, like maybe 350. You could have been buying this at 350 all through here, you know, this 20 minutes, and a stop down at 250. And if you're wrong, okay, it's going to take out 250. And, you know, it's a more comfortable place to be. It still has some room before it gets there. But then if you were in, let's say you're in at 350, it's Wednesday, so let's go for a 3-hour target. You're out at 650, 650, right? Like on this candle, or maybe this candle. There you go. That's like what, an hour? A little more than an hour later. If we look at, is there a 32.75? Nope. No, 75. That's what I'm saying. The strikes are a little strange here, but you know, so 32.80, could this have worked? We have some small candles here. The lows probably getting into this at like 6 and a stop at 5. So you got some room there, but not a lot. I mean, even the fact that this gap down some from this closing price, you know, maybe getting in like 575, 550, trying to have an order like, okay, if it's going to pull back a little bit more, maybe taking this open or this high, something like that into account. But I don't think those would have filled. 535 and the high on this was 534. Yeah, so that wouldn't have filled. So the open would have, right? The open was 530. The high here was 534, and then the low over here was 535. So even that wouldn't have worked. So, but I like the stair step better. I like these candles. They're okay. They're about $1 range. So if you're buying somewhere inside of this candle, hopefully towards the lower end of it, then you can get a stop a little further down and just wait for this to work. So this is that stair step pattern. It's a continuation pattern, should continue as holding below the 21 exponential on the Amazon 5-minute, and then it broke out. And even this, it broke out here, the put broke out, and then it retested. So you could have still been buying, instead of getting in on this stair step as it's forming, you don't necessarily know it's a stair step. Then it's holding the 21 and breaking down. Sorry, I'm talking about the 5-minute Amazon, not the put. The put broke out, retested, get in at 7, stop at 6, which is still inside of this, but it, it's already broken down. And the 21 on the Amazon 5-minute is already probably moving like this, like getting a little closer. And you remember what we talked through. It was holding below the 21, right? Let's double check. Yeah, it was holding below the 21. The 21 is just following it down. It's more so holding the 5. So all through here. And then, so back to the put, this is compressing, it breaks out here. If you're in at 7, so let's say you didn't even get in at like 556, something like that. You're in at 7, 3-hour target is 10, you're out on this candle. Yeah, so you're in this for like, what is that, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, something like that. And you have some opportunities to get in later, because the place that you got out was like 10, 15, no, what was it, 7 to 10. So you're out at 10, you can get back in at 10. It retested, you're back in at 10, you're holding through some of this, choppiness. Well, no, you're in at 10, you're out at 13. That's another 3-hour move. You're looking for 10 again, it doesn't fill. So you're in at 7, out at 10, in at 10, out at 13, and then you're done. That's 6-hour. And then this starts to slow down. This is a really nice pattern here. This is, there's definitely some compression going on here. It's a little bit like I saw this angle and I thought, well, this kind of lines up flat, but it starts to break here. So it's actually kind of making like that. So it's not as clean now that I look at it a little bit more, but it's basically kind of like a triple top sort of shape, but it's compressing, and it compresses not to continue, in the bearish direction. It actually bounces there. So that was, what time was that? 205. 205. That was this candle. So that's the one that actually got a close above the 21, which technically we closed above the 21 here. So we did have one, I'm not going to count, well, we'll count that one, 2, 3, 4 bullish candles closing above the 21, and then we got more after that point in the last hour of the day. But yeah, so like here's the last hour of the day. So prior to that, there were 3 bullish candles that closed above, if you count this one as closing above the 21. So today, Amazon was following the 21 exponential. Kind of cool to figure that out. It'd be great to figure it out early in the day and just trade it when it comes into the 21. Or you can be more aggressive and trade off the 5 when it's trending like this. This is a great one to see that it's compressing, it's holding the 21. If you get in here, it's going to be, really tight, a tight risk and a really good reward if it does break and just run. So that would be, what was that, a 950 when we were just looking at? So that's even here. So that means you're buying at 9, stop at 8. You're getting in either on this candle on a submitting the order on this candle, which means you're looking for a limit buy of 9 and a stop at 8, or you're on this candle setting up for a stop limit. Both the stop and the limit are 9. So that means that it's going to go above 9 and then trigger your limit buy of 9 and, activate that or get filled on that when it pulls back down. And then you've got your stop sitting out at 8, and then your target is all the way up at 12, which 12 isn't even that far away because it did it. There we go. So you're in on this candle and you're out on that candle. So you're out like not even 20 minutes later. So that's even this kind of compression. Seeing this size candle, and I don't know, it's 3270, which it's like, why would I pick 3270? If we go back to, and all I did was look at 3300 first, then look at 3250, say, well, maybe there's something in the middle. And I just picked 3270. I could have picked 3280, would have been fine. Yeah, these candles are too big. You can't do that here. They're too big. So if you go to the next one down, 3290, I think is the next one. I don't remember if there's a 3295. This was about $1 range. So 32.90. You can do it at 32.90. It's interesting. Oversold. 32.80. I think I might have 32.80. Yeah, I had some really small candles in here. So that would have been buying at like 11, right? Buying at like 11 there. Maybe you would have missed it. Buying at 11 on this candle would have missed it. But buy 11 and then target of 14, and that would have filled this candle. So almost immediately. So this is where you can have, you can be a little further away, have a really good compression. It's a continuation pattern. It should continue. It's not going to every time, but probably if you go back and study that, it probably happened more times to where you win than the number of times that you lose. And when you win, you're going to win much bigger than when, the ones where you're going to lose and are. So that's how to go through that and figure out. And we're looking at, still 2 days away, and we can still, pay a decent amount and have a really tight range. And let me go back to 32.50. Really tight range. Even here, you can be buying at like $5, or a little bit more than 5, because the lowest here, yeah, I guess you'd have to go a little more than 5. So like 550, yeah, 550 by 450, based on that candle, based on kind of the range of these. And then that fills, 550, and you got your target at 850, and you're in for that amount of time. That, show me when that happens, and that's a good one to trade. So, all right, we'll see if we get a continuation lower on the daily. If we can continue here, I would not be surprised if we got a bit of a gap up. We did have, so I was just trying to look at this. We had some similar things happening. They happened at different days last time. I remember this happening, but we had this kind of day where we, put in a high, broke down or went down, came back up, and kind of retested that early on. And this is the next day we kind of did like a rally and then completely broke down. And then today we started here and then just totally broke down. We've done stuff like that before. And I was trying to find, did it happen in the same order? How did this work out? And I think it was these days. Yeah, so you can go back and watch these videos. It's going back to, oops, hang on, let me figure out the day first. This was Wednesday, July 14th, 15th, and 16th, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And what I was just seeing is you had like this day where it did the same thing. It put in like this high, it retested it, and then it went lower, and then later on it rallied. But then it did the same thing the next day where it put in a high, it retested it, and then went lower. And then this day it put in this candle and just sold off. So I just see some similarities that these days we did some similar stuff. 1, 2, 3. I feel like it's similar what we did just now with these 3 days. So we had a little bit of a different middle day. So the first day and the second day do look different. So we didn't have, this day was retesting the previous day's highs and retesting back to this candle, where we had the high through here. So this was all relative highs through this. And so this day didn't quite fit what we did prior, but the first day and the third day here. So, if we do something like that again, let me find those days again. What was that? These days. If we do something like that again, the next day, if it follows the pattern, then the fourth day would be a gap down and chop sideways. Maybe. And that would be fitting because we could get a little bit of a rest here. We had kind of a little bit of a smaller candle here in between a couple of bigger days. Today's range was nice. This was the largest body candle, open to close body, near 40 points on the day. So that was really good. So if we gap down here and just kind of hang out a little bit and go sideways, I think that still opens the door for us to go a little bit lower and continue the next day. But I mean, yeah, if we can gap down, I don't know who's going to quite be buying this yet. I mean, it's definitely retesting this kind of a triangle here. That's why I still think we're going to get down into the 32 to 32.50 range. And that's kind of where this line comes in. So 32.25 is right in the middle of that. We'll see if we get down there tomorrow or soon. Hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN.